All right, so Xavier, you're seeing here the class, the current class of student. Do you see them? Well, you when they talk, you'll focus on them.
Okay. Okay.
So and basically, what we want to find out a little bit more about is uh, one, how you got the job at KMK,
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing there, and then we could answer questions if you have some questions for you. All right,
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
go ahead.
So yeah. So I may, I've created a Word document. I may have this in a different order, but I'm gonna talk about what you are asked. Okay.
Yep.
Great. So I'm currently working for a consulting company. So it's mostly a data analyst role. So I got this job by networking and with a lot of help from Lehigh alumni. I'm using a lot of LinkedIn since I came to Lehigh. Uh, there's a lot of ups and downs in my job searching process. So just don't be upset if you haven't got anything yet. It's absolutely normal and just be confident. Um, so for my role, it's mostly about data science and the product development. The exciting part of being working for a consulting company is that you can be involved in a lot of projects. So I used to be working a project about marketing. It's you are using your data skills, your statistics skills to develop predictive models to try to help those our clients, which mostly are pharmaceutical companies, to improve their sales. And after that, I'm working currently on a project developing a business dashboard, which is about using machine learning and data mining, try to get the data and develop the model to provide both sales reporting functions and the strategic planning. Um, so I got my job from reference from Lehigh alumni. We have very good people from Lehigh in my company. So I get to know one of them from LinkedIn. We had a phone call for a few times, and I said, "Hi, can we have a talk? I'm really interested in your company and your role, so I want to know more. So if you can set up a meeting or something." Then we had a phone call for a few times, and I introduced myself, and I let him know my interest in this industry. So he connected me to the HR in my company, and we had a very good talk. I even sent her some of my projects, my data mining projects, and I talked to her about my statistic skills and my business background because I was doing economics and finance. So that can be also appreciated. Uh, so they decided to give me this interview last year on February in Lehigh. So they got 3 rounds. The first 2 is about your personalities and your data skills. So for consulting companies, personalities always comes the first. So you really have to know how you can work with your teams, how you can coordinate everything, and how can you, present your ideas to clients. So for my current role, I'm always presenting my product to different clients from different companies. So some people, they are very senior people that they have no idea about the technical skills, and some people they're really interested in your algorithm, how you get the data and all the techniques behind, behind your product. So you really have to have this communication skills that you can try to, convey your ideas and present your products and your ideas to people from all different levels. That's the most important one. And after the 2 interviews, the last one is about your data skills, which is basically the SAS programming test. Um, I'm not sure if other companies like us are using SAS, but mostly we use SAS. Sometimes we use Python as well for our data mining process. Um, and sometimes we're also using Tableau for reporting. We have many dashboards for different clients, like the medicine sales numbers, and we developed this with Tableau. And after the interview, they just gave me the offer in just 1 week, which is pretty quick. My personal advice is, so from my perspective, so just try to take advantage of LinkedIn. It's a really useful networking platform. You don't really have to be a premium member on LinkedIn. You just go and search for whatever you are interested in and talk to people, and always be proactive. Try to reach out first. Because, and sometimes people are really busy and they don't reply to you. So don't lose confidence, and it's absolutely normal. I usually connect to like maybe 10 or 20 people per week, and only maybe like 2 or 3 they reply to me, but that was really helpful, because they are the people, who knows the industry. I mean, maybe you guys are really, skilled at data, at finance, at whatever courses you've taken, but you just need to have an idea that how you can apply these knowledge to the industry, the real world, how you are using your knowledge. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys have an idea, but they are the people who are in the industry. So just try to talk to them. And so I know some people, they ask for reference. They talk to those people on LinkedIn. Hey, can you give me the reference? I'm really interested in this role. But other than that, I'm suggesting that you can also, follow up and ask. So, hey, I'm interested. Can you let me know what's the daily job and what is your project about and what, technical skills you are using, and how do you think of this industry? Just ask some more comprehensive questions, which can be really helpful. So when I'm getting this job, I didn't really have a very good job about this industry. I mean, what they're using, I know they're using SAS and some Python, but I'm not sure, how well you have to be skilled at these technical skills. So I was really afraid and they don't want me, because I don't really have a lot of projects at that time. But when I got into the company where I was having the interview, I just realized you don't really have to be that technical, because there's a lot of people helping you. So you will be first assigned to a group, which you will be working for them. They'll let you know what you should be doing, and they will give you the training. So that is how things are going in my company. So just, ask more and get to know more. Don't just ask for reference. That's kind of stupid, okay? I think that's pretty much what I want to talk about, and I'll be happy to answer any questions if you guys have.
Sure. Can you go over the you were saying something about LinkedIn? How many people do you try to access using LinkedIn?
Mm-hmm.
How many did you try to contact every day or whatever?
How I use LinkedIn?
Yeah. But how many inquiries did you make to how many people? 10, 20, 30 a week? How many?
Okay, so last year when I was searching for my job, I usually connect 20 people per week from different industries like finance and data. So mostly from Lehigh alumni.
And what do you say when you contact them?
So I said, hey, I saw your LinkedIn profile. I'm really interested in your experience, and we have similar backgrounds. Maybe they graduate with a degree in data or finance, so we have similar backgrounds. So I said, if we can have a talk, or just maybe give me a little bit advice there. And I mean, usually people from your universities or people are similar to you, and they are more likely to reply to you. I used to try to connect the people from Columbia University and many different other industry and universities. And they usually don't reply to me, because only your alumni, only people like you, they are more willing to help you. So that's my advice. So I would usually search Lehigh, something like that, so I can raise my chance of getting a reply.
Okay, so, and to get that job at K&K Consulting, you contacted them through LinkedIn? Is that how it worked out?
Yeah, it's really working out. So I first know this guy from Lehigh, but I wasn't realize what he's doing. So I happened to find his profile on LinkedIn, and he's working in my current company, and he has a really good academic background. So that's why I'm thinking he must be really skilled at job search and really professional. So I talked to him on LinkedIn, and I meet him on campus. And I was asking, how I can improve my skills. So he really gave me a lot of advice, like I can, take a lot of courses from Coursera and the data camp. That would really help. And I can, try to learn some SAS programming. That's what is required in my company. So those advices are really helpful, I think. So don't just go and say, hey, can you give me the reference and what do you do there? So just try to follow up with more questions and on a regular basis, like maybe once a month or something. I mean, they won't give you all the information at the time because of the time limited or whatever reason it is. They'll just give you some informations, one by one, just so I would just make a phone call with him just like once a week or something. So with more updated information.
Question? Yeah.
Hi, Zoe, I'm Ted Cook.
Can you hear him?
Yes, yes.
As you mentioned that project experience would help for searching for such jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So like, did you have a lot of project experience, and if so, like, where did you get those projects?
Did you mean that I got this job because a lot of my projects?
Yeah, like when you have the interview, when you have access to the company, like at that time, do you have a lot of project experience?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what I usually do for this is I have a lot of different projects. So I used to be working as a TA in finance department, so I have a lot of projects. And I also did a lot of projects from Coursera, data camp, and whatever resources you can find. So what I'm doing is I classify these projects. I mean, some projects are related to data, some are related to finance, marketing, whatever it is. So when applying for this job, I would usually send one of my most related project to the hiring manager, so they can have an idea how I'm doing. I mean, I know a lot of people who didn't get the offer first because they think they are too junior, they are too young, they don't have much experience. But with projects, people can think, okay, you have this experience before, and at least you know something about the industry. I know a lot of people, so they just send a copy of their projects, a screenshot or whatever, so they get the offer by that. That's really helpful. So I send my project to the HR people, and when we're having the interview, they're really interested in my project. We spend like maybe 60% of the time talking about my projects, and they would ask many detailed questions, like not really hard, it's really detailed, like how did you get the data and what algorithm you're using, and what if you have the missing data, and what if something like that. So these are really detailed questions about the projects. So my suggestion is always try to do some projects from different industry, data, finance, whatever, and just focus on that. Just try to know each step in detail about your data, about your process. They will ask that. they wouldn't ask you something really fancy like you don't know how to answer. It's just really simple questions, but you have to be really careful. I had a few interviews before this. I had interviews from in financial industry like TD Bank, Bank of America, some of that. I also getting interviews from McKinsey and Boston Consulting Group. So they are pretty much the same. They're really interested in my projects, what I'm doing each step. So I would usually, review my projects one day before the interview and go through all the process. That I think that's probably one of the most important things besides networking.
So Xavier, let's go into more detail about the project. You're saying that you work as a TA, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that's how so it was a project within the university.
Yes, that's in the university.
Okay, and that's interesting. So basically, we need to make sure that first you're working on projects so that, well, it makes sense, right? Because you have something to talk about. Because otherwise, what are you going to talk about? The curriculum and your classes and, right? You need to, and I guess they could tell you about what the job is, but what are you going to tell them? And you say you spend like 60% of the time with the HR person or the person doing the hiring?
The hiring manager. Usually it's the leader in your team.
Okay. Matsala has a question.
Hi, I'm Matsala. I'm the first year master's student here. Can you just give us an example of the kind of projects that you were doing? Just one example, just so that we get a feel of probably the kind of work we should probably be concentrating in that can open up the doors for us.
Sure, definitely. So I'll just give you an example when I was doing a TA in Lehigh. So I had worked with a few professors before. So one of the professors from the supply chain department, Professor Zachariah, so I used to work with him. So he used to have a project with Amazon. So they're trying to connect the data from different suppliers and the retailers to try to get the idea if they can, do drop shipping. So it's a really different shipping method that they want to apply, but they have to get some data before they can really do this. So I was helping with the projects. So I need both supply chain knowledge and technical skills like statistics and data mining and predictive modeling to do this. So I connected my data from a survey, which I designed the survey, and I sent out the survey to different people. That's how I connected the data. So I specified this in my interview that I designed this and I distributed the survey and I collected the data and how I cleaned the data, what I did for the missing data. So I talked about this in very details. And I also had a lot of meetings with different companies because they are, they're retailers and sometimes they are suppliers. So I had a lot of meeting with them. That's how I show the company I have this interpersonal skills and communication skills, because I was presenting a lot of my data and ideas to these people. So my hiring manager is really interested in this experience because they want people like this. So I also talked about what I did for the model. I mean, I use different models like probability models, and I also use some Excel pivot table and the Tableau to show these suppliers and managers that what's the insights that we can get from the data. And the consulting company are really interested in this part. I mean, when I came to the company, that's basically what I'm doing every day. I'm having a lot of meeting with people from senior position. So that really matched the experience what I had when I'm doing the Amazon projects. So I talked about this. So I also talked about the feedback. I mean, how the Amazon people are thinking about my projects, what are the advices, and how I coordinate with them, because they have the knowledge from the industry, but they are not technical person. They have no idea about the data, how they can get the data, and what they can do with that. So I help them with that. I provided my knowledge in data science. So by talking about this, I can show my ability to work with people and how I can help the team. So that's what the consulting company is interested. So that's why they want me, take me to the next interview. So always have an idea that what people are interested in. I mean, if you are having an interview in a financial company or insurance company, they may have different interests. So when I was having an interview with TD Bank, I didn't talk too much about that. I talked a lot about my financial projects. I talked about my internship in financial companies. So, and then they're really interested in if I'm a detail-oriented people. So I talked about how I deal with numbers. I'm not freaked out by the numbers. I did a really good job. I never made mistakes in my projects with data. So that's what they're interested. So really have this idea that what people want to know, what people are interested in.
All right. Thank you.
Xavier, so what are you working on right now? What kind of projects are you working on in your job right now?
Currently, yes. So I'm working in a product developing team. So I'm helping designing a business dashboard which can show our clients how is your company performing. I mean, our clients are mostly from pharmaceutical companies, so they are basically sell drugs and medicines. So we connect the data from them, but the data is messy. So they cannot get the insights, have the idea that how they're performing in this quarter, just looking at these messy data. So I'm developing this dashboard that I'm using SAS to clean the data and present the data in visualization, which is more better received. So I'm also combining some strategic planning in this dashboard, which means we recommend what you should be doing in next quarter that can help you improve your sales. So by doing this, we have to use some machine learning and data mining. We get the data from many resources like Twitter data, what physicians thinking of these drugs, do you like it? And we're trying to use this data from the social media, whatever, and we're trying to develop this model to predict what they're interested in. So, and we're doing the recommendation mostly by visualization, like we're giving a pie chart or maybe a bar chart, something like that, to tell them what can mostly help your company to improve your sales. And it's a really exciting project because no one has done this before. They only have a reporting dashboard, but they don't have strategic plan. So it's a really new project, and I've been working on this for a few months. It's a really exciting project.
So I guess the next question, before we let you go, how did you manage, because you were a foreign student, right, when you graduated?
Right.
So how did you manage the process of the working papers? What did you do?
I manage my time.
Well, no, what I mean by that is you had an OPT, right, when you started?
Right.
Graduated in May. When did you start working?
I got my EAD card, which is my OPT, on late July. Then after a few days, I just went to my company. It's really flexible, so they rescheduled my time.
To start. So then you were able to, because the OPT was good for
a year.
1 year.
Right. Correct.
1 year, right? 1 year.
Right.
And then how many years have you been working for them now?
Right, yeah. I'm still on my OPT.
Okay, so are they gonna, is there like a, you think they're gonna, are you applying for the, because a lot of students that are working under the OPT, they are doing the lottery. Are you doing the lottery also?
Yeah, I'm also doing a lottery. So my company will help me with H-1B. So I have to apply for that this year in April, doing a lottery.
Because the likelihood is pretty high, I understand, for master students working to get, I mean, there's a lot of people trying to get it, but I think because of the level of education, last time somebody from Dun and Bradstreet, and she graduated in 2018, and she applied and she got the lottery.
Yeah.
It's like a 50% chance of getting it, bro.
Not really. I mean, for master students, the chances are much better. It's like 65%, I think.
65%.
Yes.
So the trick is that you need to get the first job to start.
Exactly.
And then, okay.
You really have to find a company which can really help you with H-1B. Because my company, we have a lot of international students as well. So my company is really helpful in help you apply for the H-1B. We have already started the process. So yeah, so just get your H-1B first. Get your status first.
Are you located in New Jersey or in New York?
I'm in New Jersey. We also have an office in New York. I mean, it depends on your projects, but currently I'm in New Jersey.
Because I have a couple of students here that are going to graduate in this audience, and maybe they should send you their resume and at least tell you what the project they're working on. So maybe you could move it around KMK.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Any more questions?
Hi, can you give us some advice on how to prepare interviews?
Advice on interviews?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I always have a lot of advice on interviews. I had a lot of interviews. So the first one is you really have to get to know what your company wants. So what I mean is try to connect to some people in the company that what they are doing currently. I mean, for my company, I connecting a lot of people in my company. So I ask a lot of questions like, what do you do every day? So they told me it's like 30% of data skills and maybe 60% of communication skills and 10% of others. So I have this idea. So I know how I can prepare for that. So I talk about my projects, in data science, which also involves a lot of communications with other people. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is be confident. So I know a lot of people, I'm also giving interviews to a lot of other people. So be confident. If people are asking you something that you really don't know, I mean, I always met this situation. I mean, I'm not like really knowledgeable and I know everything. I also have something I'm missing. So don't say, I don't know. I'm not sure. Don't say that. Just talk about what you know. Maybe they'll talk to you about, hey, do you know the probability model? And just don't say, I don't know this model. I have never done any projects in it. I've never learned it. Don't say that. You can just tell them, oh, hey, I have some projects done in other models, maybe like logistic models, so which I think is really, related to this probability model, and just talked about what you have done and how is that close, how is that related to what they asked you, okay? So they won't ask you everything, so you have to go and tell them what you know. Okay, this is really important because sometimes if you say, I don't know, they'll just skip it. They think you have no idea about data science, but that's not true. You know a lot of things, but it's just you don't know this specific thing. So try to talk more about what you know. So I used to have this interview. So they asked me if I have this experience in, I forget what it is. It's like Excel something. So I didn't know that, but I said I have done another projects in Tableau, reporting something which I think is really also helpful for this company. So I talked about my projects. I even sent a copy of my projects to the hiring manager after the interview, and he's really interested. So that's how I can get to the next round. So you'll meet a lot of these situations. And other than that, I think you have to be prepared. I mean, for me, before the interview, I would usually create a OneNote document, which I'll listed all the questions I might have, and all the questions I might have for my projects and for my personalities. I'm prepared, and don't forget to ask some some questions after the interview. And they will usually say, "Hey, do you have any questions for me?" So don't say, "Where's the restroom?" Don't say something stupid like that. Always ask something valuable, like, "I have some experience in, what, and how do you think I can help with this projects with this experience?" So always try to present yourself. Always you take whatever opportunity you have to present yourself. Okay. I have a bunch of them, and I don't think I can talk about each of my advice right now. But if you guys are interested, so just have me LinkedIn. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll let you go. I know you're busy, and thank you very much for helping us out here at the MFE at Lehigh.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Professor.
I'll have them get in touch with you to send them their resumes.
Okay, yeah, sure. Just let me know if you need anything. And you can always have me on LinkedIn, or you can have my email. So just let me know if you guys need anything.
Great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sure.
Bye-bye.